Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to another amazing segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. And we are rocking with our Love Her edition. I am your hostess, Sheniqua Inspires, and I hope you all are ready for more love tips. Listen, I have a gem for us today. And actually, I am really just meeting her. So we're going to do our old intro. We're going to get to know her together. You all, please welcome to the stage, Miss Chrissy. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Listen, I am delighted to have you on here. We have been Facebook friends for quite some time. I don't know who, how, why, or what, but I am grateful for it all, that we have somehow managed to connect in these here social media streets. But please introduce yourself to us all.
Thank you so much, Sheniqua, for having me on this evening. And I am so honored to do this. But yes, everyone, my name is Chrissy Yarboro. I am an almost 51-year-old fitness coach, a grandmother of 2 little girls, and a new grandson who is not even a week old yet. So I'm just a woman who I like to encourage other women to continue with their fitness journey. I started my fitness journey in 2022. I'm down over 70 pounds now. Wow. My main focus is strength training. I love to strength train. I made a decision to stop surviving and to start living. And when I made that decision, that's when my life changed. I mean, like 100%. I am the founder of Make It Personal Fitness with Chrissy. Again, my biggest accomplishment is not only me, losing weight, but my biggest accomplishment has been me being able to change other women's lives. So that's what I do. Today, I help women take control of their health, brick by brick, layer by layer, meal by meal, and weight by weight. And so that's what I'm mostly encouraged to do every day. So I do work a 9-to-5 job, but when I punch out of that job, I go to the gym every day, and that's my God job.
Wow. Wow. I love it. I love it. Well, welcome, Chrissy. It is a pleasure to finally officially meet you. Now, like I said, we've been Facebook friends for quite some time, but I did see your weight loss journey, and we're going to get into that conversation. But one of the things that keeps me engaged with you and your content is that you are hysterical. I don't know if you mean to be, but girl, I be cracking up at just about every single one of your posts. And it is literally like a breath of fresh air.
So comedy has always been, it's been like a cushion for us. I'm from a huge family. It's 8 of us. I have 8 siblings, and we had a rough childhood. And so what we relied on with each other was comedy. Like, even to this day, I don't, it's so funny because when we all get together, we can take things that are supposed to be serious. We can make a joke out of it. And it just, I don't know, but I find so much humor. And people say this all the time, and I really do believe it. Laughter is so good for the soul. Like, I can't imagine how people just live a serious life every single day. They don't laugh. They don't, I find something humorous in almost everything. So when I see things, believe it, I am those people, you see those memes, people be in their bed at night, going through their phone, cracking up. That is
me. But it is a breath of fresh air in all the stuff we see. We live in a very, very, it's the political climate. Everybody is just like waging war against one another. Like you can't say things, you can't post things, you just can't
Yeah.
be. And there's always a constant attack. So having the fun, the lightheartedness is definitely a breath of fresh air. So I thank you for that. I wanted to publicly thank you for it. You may not think that you're doing a good job by that, but it is indeed helping people, especially myself. When you get on there, you're like, oh boy, what's the craziness in the world today? But then to see something to make you chuckle, and I mean, you guys, I mean like belly chuckle, like OMG, like you cracking all the way up kind of a chuckle. And so it's good. It's very, very good. But we are here on the Love Her edition of the Black Girl Encourage Her. So we are going to talk about love. But I first want to jump into your fitness journey.
Yes.
Take us back. Take us back to where it all started. Like, what was the defining moment for Chrissy?
Okay. So actually, it all started probably 11 years ago. That's when I literally started, right? And I started working out with a trainer, and my trainer became a little bit inappropriate. So that was kind of a downfall. And then I had a bad breakup. So it kind of left me in the dumps. Now, that was 11 years ago. So fast forward to 2022. Well, let's fast forward to 2020, right at COVID, and when they allowed people to come back into to the gyms and things like that, right? So my son he was the quarterback for his high school. So his dad always kept him with like extra like coaches and things like that outside of school, so he could be the best or whatever. So because his dad was so active in his life, and especially in his sports life, I didn't have to do anything with that. But this particular day, his dad had asked me, he says, hey, can you drop him off at the his dad and I are not together, but he asked me, can you drop him off at the gym for me and I'll pick him up? So I was like, yeah, I'm going that way anyway, sure. So maybe an hour, almost 2 hours later, he ended up calling me and was like, hey, I'm still tied up, do you mind picking him back up? And I'm like, believe it or not, still in the area, I'll go get him. So I was sitting outside the gym just waiting for him to come out, and this guy came out to get something from someone else, and he waved at me and I waved back at him. I didn't know who he was, but that was his trainer. So when my son got in the car, I asked him, I said, so I was like, do he just train athletes or do he train other people? He was like, no, mom, he trains a lot of people. He said he has people up there right now. So he was like, I'll give you his phone number, you can call him. I probably held on to his phone number for a couple of days. I ended up calling him. He liked to talk too, so he ended up telling me, he says, just come to the gym, let's do a session together or whatever. And I went to the gym and I did a session, and that was in 2020. Okay. So from 2020 to 2022, I was not very consistent. He would have to call me some days, like, where you at? Get in the gym. Like, where you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. I'm like, I know. So let's fast forward to 2022. Right around October of 2022, my doctor told me I had to have a hysterectomy, which it was life-changing as well. That's a whole other subject. Yeah. So at the same time, I already knew I was type 2 diabetic, but at the same time, like maybe a month later, my doctor also started me on a GLP-1. Okay. So I had this hysterectomy and he started me on a GLP-1. Well, I started the GLP-1 and I started to lose weight, but my doctor, which was a woman, my OB, she said, you can't work out yet. Like, what you can do is you can go and walk, because they do encourage you to walk so that you don't create blood clots or anything like that, right? So I did. I would go to the gym and I would just walk, and just that was it. He said that's all you can do. So after that, a couple of times I picked up some weights or whatever. But his wife, my trainer's wife, also would be in the gym. She also trains too, but she would just be there to work out. She's a nurse as well. She says no. Okay. Put those weights down. You really don't want to mess up something called your pelvic floor. She was like, you really do want to protect that. Do what the doctor said. So I had like a few more weeks. And then finally I went to go see my doctor. She released me. She was like, okay, you can go back to working out. I think she did give me a restriction on the size weight. She said you can start back strength training. I've never stopped. I have
Good.
never stopped. And to the point that my doctor, he loves to see me coming. He's just like, you are such a success story. Like,
Yes.
he was like, I do have other patients who started on GLP-1s and, they rely on that. But he was like, you're such a success story. And what I don't want to happen for me is I didn't want to be flabby because you would lose the weight faster than you can tone. You understand what I'm saying? Not me. I got in the gym and I've never stopped. I love it. And, I even have people who be like, you go to the gym every day? Do you eat every day? Like,
Wow. Nice.
there's some days I don't, like today. I knew I wasn't going to go to the gym today. I was just tired. And I listen to my body. And I'm just like, I'm tired. I worked out really hard yesterday and the day before that. So I'm sore. You know what I'm saying? So I know when it's time for me to just kind of like sit back for a minute and to kind of relax. But this is my life. It's a lifestyle now. It has to be.
Yeah. I love that. Now, what was your starting weight, if you don't mind sharing?
I started at 260 pounds.
Okay. And now you're down to?
So this is the funny part. And other people who work out will understand that I fluctuate between like 169 and like 175, but it's a healthy weight. So
yes,
what I have here is a scale that I have like an app on my phone. And this is why I tell women not to step on the scale often, because it can really discourage us. Because I almost got into my head one day when I stepped on the scale and I was at 175. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I didn't look at my muscle mass though. My muscle mass is increasing.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So my weight is a healthy weight. I'm the same size that I was like a little bit over a year ago, but my body looks totally different. So I fluctuate between like maybe like 169 and 175.
That's good. And like you said, if as long as you're, and many women don't realize the importance of strength training. My oldest son is big on that. He tries to tell me that all the time because I was more so into cardio.
Yes.
Because that's what we used to know. Cardio, lose weight, cardio. And he's like, you got to do some weights as well. So
now, cardio is important. And I tell people that it is important, but it is not more important than don't be afraid of weights. And I know women are like, I don't want to look like a man. You won't. Let me tell you what. If you're not taking no type of supplement, you know what kind of supplements you would have to be taking to look like a man, you won't. But I will tell you, you will feel so much better. It is just, and they say after a certain age, I'll be 51 years old. And so after a certain age, you already start to lose your muscle, a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah, it's true. And then it's harder for us to release the weight. I used to be able to go on a diet and a couple of days later, I was down to the size that I needed to be. But now at a certain age, perimenopause is like, no, that's not going to do it. Like you really have to do more strength training. And so I love that. Yeah, I love that.
I encourage women to do that. I do encourage women to just get in the weight. I tell people, the women who come to me, who, they say, I'm ready to start training. And I always say to them, just trust me with the things that you think that you can't do. I specifically, I have a client right now, and her and our motto is, you can do hard things.
Yes.
Because she always looks at first and be like, like she questions it. Then she does it, and she does such an amazing job. And then she's like, oh, it wasn't that hard.
I love it.
Hard things.
We can do hard things, ladies. We can do hard things. And because this is the Love Her edition, we're going to talk about some hard things. And y'all get your mind straight. Get your minds right here. Straight it up. Okay. So let's dive into it, Chrissy. Let's talk about your relationship status. Like,
Okay.
What's going on? So we know you're not with your kids, with your son's father. We know that part.
So I'm not
Are
with
you
my ex-husband.
divorced, widowed, single? What's going on with your relationship status?
So I can't even think how long I've been divorced, but I've been divorced for that long. But I will tell
Okay,
you that him and I are really, really, really good friends. So
nice.
my ex-husband and I are amazing friends. We have one son together, but then I have two older sons who he says are his sons. So we have
Nice.
that one baby son together, which he ain't a baby. He just turned 22 years old. And
Nice.
but we are amazing friends together, and we co-parent great together.
Good.
So, so I am divorced,
Uh-huh.
and I went a long time without dating after I
Mm-hmm.
divorced. So I just like kind of like, I would date a little bit here, but I really spent a lot of time by myself
Okay.
until maybe a couple of years ago. I started dating a guy, and it wasn't a good relationship. And it's not so much that it wasn't like abusive or anything like that. I didn't have those kind of issues, but he just wasn't a nice person.
Mm.
He wasn't a nice person. And one thing about me is that, and I know we hear this all the time, when I love hard. I really do. I
Yeah.
really do love hard. So to the point, years ago, I remember I went to God and I petitioned God. I was like, Lord, I just want you to take this away from me. And I know it was the voice of the Lord who told me, but this is how I made you. So keeping that in mind, that's what helped me make my decision. I'm just like, we don't love the same. We don't care for each other the same, and I'm not getting anything out of that. So years ago, I had tried Plenty of Fish, which is another online dating
Okay.
thing.
Take notes, ladies. Take notes.
Take
Okay.
notes.
Go
Here's
for
the
it.
notes.
Like, no, don't do that.
So I did, and I got catfished. I was
Ooh.
catfished by an African man. And after talking to him for about maybe 2 weeks, it just something started to click, right? And so, since I wasn't just born in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
I started doing my research. Come to find out, he was using someone else's picture
Wow.
and he was using someone else's name.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, I'm done with the online dating thing. And it's like, so that was back in like 2022,
Okay.
2021, 2022. So let's fast forward up to the end of last year. I started online dating again, but this time I said, let me try Facebook dating. Okay.
Okay.
So I did. A couple of people, reached out to me, and I went on a couple of dates, and let's talk about some of these other dates before I
Yes.
get
Yes,
anything.
please.
So I can remember the one guy. I went on a date with him. He was fine. He was a very nice guy, except for he drank every day. He
Mm.
drank, and then he would try to justify it. I was like, you ain't got to justify it with me. He was like, a lot people people need ways to calm down, to relax in their day. And I was just
Mhm.
like to myself, like every day he,
Wow. Wow.
he drank every single day. And
Mm.
so, I would be like, hey, that's what you
That's your
do.
liver, boo. Do you?
And I would tell him like, I just don't, since my journey,
Yeah.
alcohol is, I do enjoy a drink. It's just something that I don't think about that. I can go weeks without
Yeah.
drinking. That's just
Yeah.
who I am. So he invited me out. He did invite me out on a date. We went out on a date. The date was perfect. We just sat at a bar at a restaurant, and I wasn't hungry, so he ate and I just drank my wine or whatever. Then after that, he invited me to go to his house.
Wow.
No,
Now this is after knowing him. How long?
maybe a week.
Okay.
No. I was
Okay.
like, no. So then after that, we still would talk and text with each other. And I'll never forget this night. I told him, I said, I texted him, how was your day? He asked me how my day was, and I was like, it's good. And it was a Saturday. I said, well, I'm going to celebrate with my cousin tonight. It's his birthday. I'm going to have dinner with my cousin. And he hit me back and was like, I know you see other people. And I blocked him. I did.
Okay.
I blocked
No
because
time for that. No
I already
time.
see. I see where this is going right now.
Yeah.
So
Good.
okay, and then after that, still on Facebook dating. Did I go on any other Facebook dating dates? I did not. As a matter of fact, I met a guy in the laundromat. It's funny
Oh.
because so out of nowhere, my dryer stops working, right? So I'm like, oh my God. So I remember this Saturday morning, I was like, I'm gonna get up because I really all I wash, because I work from home 3 days out of the week, all I really wash, it be workout clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a whole bunch of clothes. Let me go to the laundromat. Go to the laundromat. I ended up meeting this guy at the laundromat. He was a really nice guy, really nice looking guy, like 6'2", dark skin. He spoke well. He texts back, just really a nice guy. We talked for a little bit. We went out on a couple of dates.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. When I tell you this man is so much fun to hang out with, we had a ball. And I'm very affectionate. I am a very affectionate person. He was very affectionate too. We had such a good time. But then he got a little bit weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this. I'm glad I didn't give up on that relationship because that turned into a wonderful friendship. Like,
Nice.
we are really, really, really good friends. Like, we talk to each other every day. We tell each other about our dates. He tells me about his dates, and we decided like we're gonna be best friends. Like, and
Okay.
he just said this the other day. I'm so glad that we didn't try to take anything further because it would be hard for us. And so now we can just be friends. You know what I'm saying?
I like
So
that.
fast forward to this guy inboxing me on Facebook dating. He said his name. He said, hi, if you're still available, I would love to meet you. And so I reached back out to him and I said, it's nice to meet you. My name is Chrissy. And we did the pleasantries or whatever. We talked for a few minutes on there. And I'm just this type of person. On those dating websites, it's just texting back and forth on there is a little bit weird. I don't mind
Yeah.
giving you my phone number because I can block you.
Okay. Okay.
And
Facts.
I was saying to him, hey, text me. He was saying at the same time, hey, text me too. So we ended up getting each other's phone numbers at the same time.
Okay.
So we started texting back and forth with each other. And I noticed that his name was not like American, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first time we talked to each other, this is so funny. He I found out he was African, and I told you I had got catfished by somebody else, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh Lord,
Mm-hmm.
here we go, or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
playing with him, I said, I should FaceTime you to make sure that you're real. And
Facts.
I hit send. No sooner did I hit send, he was FaceTiming me. And I'm
Wow.
panicking. I'm like, oh my God, like my face, like I don't look, you know what I'm saying? But something said, just answer it anyway. So I
Yeah.
answered it. He's African. We talked for a few minutes. He was really nice, really a really nice guy. We started talking, and then he was at work, and I was at work too. And so he says, "But before I go, I have one question I need to ask you." He said, "You are a woman, and you've always been a woman, right?" I
Come
said,
on,
"That's
sir.
fair.
Let's just make it clear. Let's just make it clear. That's all right. I ain't mad at it. Not mad at it at all.
That is fair. That is very fair to ask."
Yes.
I thought that was so funny, right?
Wow.
And so from there, he invited me to come out and meet him for coffee. He says, "Would you mind meeting me at Starbucks?" And again, I am not one of those women. I think more people should do coffee dates. And so I thought that was perfect. So we ended up meeting at a Starbucks that was like in between my house and in between his house because we live like 32 minutes away from each other. So, which is in Cleveland, that's nothing, right? So
Okay.
that's what most places, right? So we met at this place, the place that he told me to meet him at. We met, we sat, we talked for a long time. And while we sat there and we talked, he looked at me, he says, "Can I take you on a date? Can I take you out to dinner?" And I said, yes. And so that he said, while you have your phone out, he said, let's make reservations. So we made reservations. And this is something I never let people do either. But for some reason, I let this man pick me up from my house. I don't let people know where I live ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. It just was something was comforting about him. And because he said, do you want to meet me there or do you want me to pick you up? And I said, do you mind picking me up? He's like, not at all. So the day that he got here, he made the reservations. Of course, I was all dialed up, and he came and he called me. He said, can you step outside? He said, I can't find your house. And I said, oh yeah, sure. I stepped outside, and as he was pulling up, I was about to open up the door. He's like, no, we're not going to start off on the wrong foot. He wanted to open up the door for me.
Oh, chivalry does exist. Yay. It's not a fairy tale.
So I'm not going to be 50. I'm 51 now. I'll be 52. And so he is going to be 55. So he's just a little bit older than me. Okay. So the one thing is that there is a cultural difference. There is. Although he's been here since he was 17 years old, there's still a cultural difference. Some things that we talk about, how he grew up and how I grew up. And, one thing that I do like about him, there's a couple of things I like about him, but one of the main things is that he is Christian and he talks about God and God's favor a lot.
Nice.
And I really do. I miss that with having a mate. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I really miss that so much. And he's so positive. And, even sometimes when I'm like, got issues about certain things, he just has such a positive spin on things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that is so refreshing to me. So through our conversation, I was telling him how that, I make a big deal on my birthday. I don't know if you noticed that. I always post the day after my birthday. I'd be like, my birthday only 364 days.
Okay. Should be ready for it.
I make a big deal out of my birthday. It's just like something special for me. And the reason is because I've never been celebrated, really. Mm-hmm. Even when I was married, other men, I've always celebrated other people. And I remember saying this to him. And so a week ago, talking to him, he said to me, he says, I've already started buying you birthday presents.
Ooh.
And he said, and the reason why, he says, I want your first birthday with me to be very special.
Mm.
He says, I want to show you that somebody can care for you and that you can be spoiled as well. Mm. And that just really did something for me. Like, and I was just like, don't know how to take it because, again, I am not used to it. So this is in layers. And so, again, you might have me back on your show another time because I'm going to release this part too. So my mother was murdered when I was 3 months old. Well, she was shot when I was 3 months old. She died when I was 6 months old by my father.
My God.
So the layering of this is that I have abandonment issues. And so I hang to people really, really tight.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's fear. There's always a fear of they're going to leave or this is going to happen or this, you know what I'm saying? And, I was able to, and here was another thing that I knew that he was a keeper. And I explained to him one day, I said, I suffer from trauma from my childhood, from abandonment issues. I said, I have the fear that people will leave me. And so sometimes I hang on too tight to people. And I said, and I'm only telling you this to share this with you. There's nothing that I need you to do. And he said, thank you for sharing that with me. He said, now I know how to deal with you. How I know how to deal with you. He's very gentle with me. And I don't normally like to let men in on some of the things I went through as a child because people hold things against you or they'll
and them conniving jokers can weave it in somehow and start attacking you with your vulnerability, right? They can find a way to plot on that.
I don't like it. I don't like it. So back in November, because he's from a country in Africa called Cameroon. So he goes back home. So he told me, like I had just met him, and he was like, just to let you know, he says, I'm going on holiday. I'll be gone for 7 weeks. I was like, excuse me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying to him, because their infrastructure there is not like America,
Yeah.
the internet,
Mm-hmm.
the electricity, none of that. So
Yeah.
he's like, and it would cost a lot of money for me to call you. And I remember telling him, like, well, where there's a will, there is a way.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know we figured it out?
Wow.
Facebook Messenger. We was just able to like FaceTime with each other on Messenger on Facebook. And while
Nice.
he was away, if he didn't call me every day, he would call me every other day,
Wow.
every couple of days, because sometimes their electricity would be out there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
He would go days without, but he was very intentional in keeping in
Right.
touch with me.
All right, Chrissy, that was great. Now you got to help the women, right? Because some people, when they hear things like this, they always reserve it and say, well, that's just for her. That's what happened to her. She was fortunate, that's her story. Help us. Like, so this is the Black Girl Encourage Her.
Okay.
Encourage us women who have been out of the dating scene for quite some time, and is now feeling ready. And what I heard in your story, I heard a lot of things in your story. And my spirit even leaped with a couple of things. But what I'm hearing, because we started this conversation with the weight loss transformation,
Yep.
right? And I don't know what your dating life was like when you were heavier, but
It
it's
was horrible.
something. Okay. There you have it, right? But it's something about when you start working on self.
I'm telling you, the confidence comes when
Yeah.
because I wasn't focused on anything else. I had zoned out everything else, and all I
Mm-hmm.
was focused on was Chrissy. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what I wasn't really
Mm-hmm.
the whole dating thing, this last person that I was with, you know what I'm saying? And he
Yeah.
wasn't very encouraging either. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
really, men can be jealous of women too, just so you
They
know.
can be. They can
They,
be.
they
They
can
can
be.
be.
They can be very.
Mm-hmm.
So the weight loss just, it amped it up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that, okay, yeah, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm that girl.
Because
Again,
you did good. You did good.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm that girl. You know what I'm saying? With
Yeah.
makeup on, with the makeup off. You know what I'm saying? I'm that girl. I get in the gym. People see I'm lifting heavy weights. It's attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
I can encourage other women to do though, in regards to dating. So I know that there's a taboo with online dating, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is don't give up all of your information in the beginning.
Yes.
And what I
Right.
mean by that is, yes, okay, my name is Chrissy. That's my name. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's public information, pretty
I
much. Like
yeah,
you have it on Facebook, it's public information.
I live
Okay.
in
Good.
Cleveland. I live in
Good.
Cleveland. Get
Good.
to know what that person is. Do not ever, don't go to anyone's house.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
not ever go to anybody's house. Meet out in public places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, those are just some of the things, and because there's some horror stories that I've heard that I haven't personally been through myself, and then also to date them all. You're not
Yes.
exclusive to any. That was the one thing, because one of my coworkers was like, I could never do that. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not exclusive with any of them. Date them all until
That's
you
right.
find out which one is, which one might be for you. Because if
That's
you put all of your eggs in one basket, that person is going to turn out to be an idiot. And you're like, dang, I've been curving
mm-hmm. Yep.
Steve. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We could have been going out on dates, or we could have been,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid of, if they say, let's meet at a coffee house, meet at the coffee house.
So let's shine a little light on that because we see that a lot in the social media streets where people are frowning against the
Cheesecake Factory.
Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory. It's like, come on. What are we like? Are we starving? Are we homeless? Like what is it that we cannot just have casual?
Sheniqua, I have so many things in regard, because I've heard it on both sides.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. Where are we right now?
Yes.
I don't I don't understand, because the Cheesecake Factory, I don't care. Let's meet at the cheese. I love a good cheesecake.
I know exactly what I want when I get there. We can play no games about what she's going to eat. She already knows.
And my little sister, she says this all the time. She was the first one. She was like, I think more people should do coffee dates, because why do you want to go out to dinner and spend all this money on somebody that you really not even connecting with? Why not meet at like sit down and have coffee? A coffee date is a date.
Yeah.
I think
more people associate it like with money. Like, does this person really love me if they can spend money on me? And it's like, we got to get rid of that kind of twisted like exchange, because that's prostitution, if I'm correct.
If you ask me, and in some ways it is, but let me tell you something. I had a young person, she's only like 25, 26 years old, talk about marriage. And just, you know what she told me? If I get married, he's gonna have to pay all the bills. And so I said, well, what are you gonna be paying? Or what are you gonna do with your money? Whatever I want to do. And
that's not a partnership.
And it may not be reality. That may not be reality. And you're right. It doesn't seem like a partnership. And again, there might be some women out there who are like, yeah, I'm the same way, because I'm not paying for nothing. My money is my money. But I'm okay with being a helpmate. I'm okay with being in a partnership.
So let's talk about the fantasy that many women, and I'll admit myself, you have this fantasy image, this lifestyle, this, we create these lists. He has to be this, he has to have this, he has to earn that, like this fantasy. What would you say to women and men in particular who are holding out for this dream individual?
Sheniqua, that is a really good question. And what I would say is, I don't know what to tell them, because the only reason why I say this is because people want what they want. And at the end of the day, people are going to get what they get.
Yeah.
Because maybe that dream for them is he has to be 6'2". He has to be dark. He has to be bald. He has to make this many figures. He has to have no children. He has to have this. He has to. And you may not find somebody with all of those things. You know what I'm saying? The guy that I am dating now, he is the first guy that I've ever dated that makes really good money.
Okay.
I'm talking about really good money. And he is the first guy that I've ever dated who is okay with doing things for me right off the bat. So I think, and also too, sometimes the fantasy, because I'm sure I had that fantasy at some time too. Like, I'm going to do this. Somebody's going to move me into the big house. And I'm going to be honest with you, Sheniqua, I don't even want the big house no more.
Okay. Because you know what it's going to take to upkeep it and manage it, and
I bought my house in 2016. If people had told me that this is what it is,
yeah, it's tough,
baby. But no, don't get me wrong. I love my home, I do. But baby,
yeah,
when my kids are grown, Well,
it's a lot of upkeep. It's a lot of upkeep, especially for a single woman. That I can say.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Because I've been single for so long. I was a single mom. I was a single. Sheniqua, I want somebody to come and take the pressure off of me.
Yes.
I am not one of those women. I'm independent. I don't need a man. I need a man.
Yes, please and thank you.
Come and take this pressure. I don't want to think about everything all the time. The garage is broke. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I want somebody else to be like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is who we should call. I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
I'm tired. And I was just talking to a friend today too, who also is in a really good space with someone that she met online as well. And She said to me, well, her situation is a little different from mine because she's like, hasn't known him that long. She's about to sell her condo. She's going to move in with him. And she was like, look, she's like, life is short. She's like, oh, well, I keep on thinking. She's like, both of my parents are dead. She was like, my brother is married. It's just me. She's like, I've been taking care of people all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, we really like each other. And she was like, I'm going forward with this.
Hey, YOLO, right? You only live once.
And I
And
told her, I do feel that. I'll be 52 years old. I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser now about some things. You understand what I'm saying? Even to the point of, I don't even need the big wedding anymore. I did that.
Yeah.
I would much rather have put that money somewhere else.
Yeah, sure, right?
And
So
I'm not taking that away from women who want to do that. I think do it, but
yeah. Now there's also so now you're venturing into a different culture, right? And a lot of people are fearful of that. I don't know what was going on back in the days. I guess there I know what was going on. There was a moment in time where people from other countries were playing nice with I guess Americans to get green cards and things of that nature. And we're really, really scared, like we're scarred in these streets by that. But I also think a lot of these connections were choice.
yes.
But there's a lot of horror stories when it comes to that. So you've even kind of, softened up, lightened up, and explored a different culture.
I did, which is weird because again, I was like, when I found out he was African, I was like, oh, here we go again. I almost was just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But something in me was like, let's just give him a chance or whatever. But the cultural difference, there's a couple of things that are different. You know what I'm saying? Just how they view their elders. I love it. I love it so much. Just how they view life. I'll say something. Like I asked him when he was in Cameroon, I was like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. He's like, that's an American thing. That's you Americans. And I have to remember, like, you're right.
Yeah.
Ain't no pilgrims went over there.
No.
He will remind me quickly. That's an American thing.
Okay, good.
Like
good,
we don't
good.
celebrate that, or you know what I'm saying. He'll say you Americans. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just the culture, his work ethic. It is
nice.
Audacious.
Yeah.
It is something. His work ethic is beautiful.
But I think it's something worth exploring. I feel as though we limit ourselves, we box ourselves in by, like I said, having this type. I love the advice you said, date them all, and that's every race, every color, every size, every height, every tax bracket. Like you limit yourself, because how do you really honestly truly know what you want? Are you basing it off of what you did before or what you had before? Well, that apparently didn't work. Right?
Exactly.
That didn't work. So why would you want to repeat that same momentum? So, just freeing yourself up. Now, I actually did have an opportunity to date an African guy. Okay. And again, like you said, the work ethic, the connection with the family. He was educated. He held multiple degrees. We went out. He spent big money. He wasn't one of those looking at price tag, taking out the phone to calculate nothing. He was like, get whatever you want. It was like a free for all. And then he did make a statement to me.
Okay.
That I was kind of like, huh? And he was like, when are you going to, he wanted to know when I was going to come to his house.
Okay.
He wanted to
after
know.
How long?
This was our first date. We had did phone chat a couple of times. This is our first official date. And he wanted to know when I was going to come and get in his bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, no.
Yeah. No, I'm not ready.
No. And then after a while, I was like, well, and I was like, no, like, snap out of it, girl, snap out of it. But yeah, because listen, let's just keep it real. Like, let's just keep it grown here. I've dated people and we end up back at their house. Like, what was the difference?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So I don't know why I put this like expectation on him, like as if he wasn't a man.
No, and I didn't do that to him either. And it actually was my ideal.
Yeah.
It was my ideal. But I will say that it was definitely my ideal how we ended up. Okay. So, but I will say this. Another thing I appreciate about him is that when you talk to men and they start talking about sex right away, it's a turn off for me.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him that just recently, like, I'm so glad you didn't do that. He was like, because that would have been disrespectful.
Nice. Very nice.
He was like, of course you don't. But I was like, you know how many men do that? It's an immediate turn off for me. And I'm just like, all right, well, because now I already know this is exactly what, this is
Where
not
you
going to be
going?
anything else. I know exactly where you're going to go with this, and I am not willing to go there with you.
And I think sometimes, and we know women have their needs, and however, you choose to do what you do is what you do. But I feel as though a lot of times we miss these flags. We don't want to see these flags. We just want to be out. We just want to be in a relationship. We want to, happily ever after. We want it to be our turn. And then we start to kind of just take a blind eye to the signals. So I think it's very important when you're dating, especially, like, I don't have any problems with online dating. I've tried it. I didn't quite enjoy it. There were a lot of people who were more interested in me than I was into them. And it seemed as though everyone that I was interested in, it was like Silence of the Lambs. And I think I almost got catfished as well, Chrissy. I almost fell into that as well. But I kept telling him, I was like, nah, we got to do a video call. We got to get on Zoom. We got to do something. Like, I need to see you. No, he didn't want to.
It was a catfish.
Yeah. He kept making all of these excuses, and I was like, yeah, it was nice, but like, so the signs were there, and when the signs are there, like, you can't just bypass it. You have to pay clear attention to what it is that you're seeing, not to be overly sensitive, but to be very discerning, to be right? Smart. Also, to be very smart and safe, right? And safe.
You got to be safe now. We are living in a different time. And that's why I say to people, when I hear the stories, like, and they'll say, oh, she went back to his house. They set up a date, the first date at his house. You did what?
That's a setup.
No,
I mean, it could turn out very nice, very lovely, very PG. It could be very, very nice.
It could be, or it could be very dangerous.
It could be very, very dangerous indeed, right? So, like, we got to use some wisdom.
But I will say this also too, that I've learned from talking to him and from one of my other male friends. Women are out here living foul too. He told me something. This is one of the big ones, that a lot of our pictures, we don't look like our pictures, and they using pictures from 2012. He said that, and another one is the very first conversation. They're talking about, how are you going to take care of me? How?
It's boiled down to dollar signs and sex.
Yep.
That's what so I remember talking to someone one time before, and they says, oh, they said the dating pool has pee in it.
It had pee.
You tainted it. You tainted it.
It was COVID in there. It was some of everything inside of the dating pool.
Yeah.
Listen,
but it's been very much tainted. So I think we have to be responsible for cleaning it up ourselves. Like,
and that's on both sides too.
Yeah, it is.
It's on both sides. Of course, as women, we're like, the men out here is living foul. But then to get an actual testimonial from two men who are like, yeah, if you only knew some of the women. My friend just told me that he was talking to a lady. They met on Facebook dating, and they were talking. They said, let's meet here. She never showed up.
Because she knows she ain't look like how she was portrayed.
she never showed up.
Yeah.
And so I was
Wow.
like, so again, now, and I heard you say something about the red flags. I'm always looking. I have to stay alert. I've been through too much. I've been hurt too
Mm-hmm.
many times. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
too much. I have to stay on my toes, even in
Yeah.
this. And that might be a part of the fear,
Okay.
that trauma, you know what I'm saying? That is kind of got me stuck a little bit, but I have to keep my eyes and my ears open, and I'm always looking and I'm questioning.
Okay. To
And
be wild.
another thing a lot of people don't, communication really is key. I know we say that, but some
Mm-hmm.
things can be communicated.
Yeah.
And we, for some reason, we're not willing to communicate. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some things can just be talked about.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Especially your
conflict.
feelings. If you're feeling some kind of a way, if you didn't like something that was said, you're feeling uncomfortable.
That's me.
Um, yeah.
I get
Yeah.
to say, I didn't like how you said that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to say it nasty. I get to say, I don't like how that makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Mm-hmm.
me being an almost 52-year-old woman who my voice was silenced as a child, that's a huge
Mm-hmm.
step for me. That's a
Yeah.
huge step for me. And I'm okay with I will, in a heartbeat, tell somebody, I don't like the way you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. But what it sounds like is that your personal work, you can't avoid the personal work. You got to take care of yourself, right? You got to work on your triggers. You got to be able to identify these things, so that you're not, going in there and condemning someone or not giving someone a chance because of these scars and these triggers that you've had.
Mm-hmm.
Have those deep conversations with yourself about what it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it worth it? Right. Is it worth trying online dating or just
I
showing
think
up
it.
at the laundromat and like, is it worth it?
So, and the reason why I say it is, so my sister is a little older than me. She's 50, 50, 55 this year.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't understand it. Me and my other sister have to remind her all the time, like, this is where we at in the world now. It's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate, but this is how people meet people now.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
not
And it's
really
a
meeting people
quicker
in
way.
church.
It's a quicker way to
You're meeting
connect as
people.
opposed to it's like speed dating, right?
Yeah.
You get a smorgasbord of people. You can kind of vet real quickly and move it on, and then you date who you want to date rather than just taking the chance
Yes.
of
And
going somewhere
and
and
that's
seeing
why I
you.
tell the ladies, date them all. You are
Yeah.
not exclusive with any of them. You are also out there trying to get to know
Mm-hmm.
people. And
And
I
men
think
are
they
trying
are
to.
too.
They're on a quest for self. You're because I'm learning a lot about myself in this season of dating.
Okay.
And yeah. So it's like you do need to date them all. You do need to have conversation with them all so
Thank
that
you.
you get the feeling where you hear something, you're like, no, I didn't like that. Right. And then you can say, okay, I do not like when someone does that, right?
And that
It
does
made
not
me
make you
feel
a
this.
whore. That just makes
No.
you a real person
Yes.
saying, let me
Yes.
see what this is like. I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you're not exclusive with any of these people.
That's right. That's right.
And so that's exactly what I did. I remember too, another person that I met on Facebook dating. He was a little bit older. He was very polished, but baby, let me tell you, all this man wanted to do was talk me to death.
Okay. Listen.
I mean, talk me to death. He wanted to stay on the phone with me all and never wanted to say, hey, let's meet.
Oh.
This man talk
Oh.
to death. Okay.
Okay.
And you know what? He was honest. Because he lost his wife maybe about 2 years ago. He
Okay.
said he wasn't looking for anything. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, that's not where I was at in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make it seem like that's, I'm not looking for anything either. That's not
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
actually looking, I want to be in a relationship with
Yeah.
somebody.
Absolutely. And you know what, Christy, I can say for myself, like I can finally admit that. I used to say for years, oh yeah, I want to be married. I want to be married, but my actions didn't really
Didn't
align
line
up
up.
with it. Yeah. Because I wasn't dating. I wasn't going out. I wasn't, I was just allowing, oh, well, guys don't approach me. I was just allowing that to kind of be like my badge, like my war scars. And it's like, no, but what do you need to do to fix that? Like, what can you do to change that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm learning, and I'm learning that by communicating,
Yeah.
right? And hearing what guys
Yeah.
are saying and what they say about me. Oh, when I met you, I thought this,
Yes.
that, like this is like a case study. It's
Mhm.
like a learning experience. Like, so you take notes. Like, yes, I want to get to know you, but I'm getting to know me.
Yeah, and that's the best part about
Yeah.
it. You
Mm-hmm.
really do get to know a whole lot about you, because I'm telling you, I tell people this all the time. You are not the same person that you were even last year. So you
That's
know you're
right.
not the same person you were
That's
5 years
right.
ago. And so even think about this. People who have been together for 25 years,
Mhm.
they're not the same person that they
No.
were. So we're forever evolving.
Yes.
We're learning. I'm not going to be the same Chrissy this time
No.
next year. At least I hope I'm
Right.
not.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's good.
another thing I did, I made a mistake with the last relationship, and I do not recommend it. And I know before I fought tooth and nail for this one, honey. I will never ever again shoot my shot. And I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you what.
Why?
I shot my shot in this last relationship, and for the whole relationship, I felt like I was the one chasing him.
Ooh.
And I even said to him before, I was like, I know what it is. It's because I shot my shot. You didn't pursue me. I pursued you. He
Mm-hmm.
would
So his
always be like,
mindset was shifted. Yeah. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
always be like, that's not true. It
Hmm.
was. And that's why with this new relationship, I always go back to the messages from the beginning to make sure it was him. He reached out to me. He
Yeah.
said, I'm interested in getting to know you.
Yeah.
So it was not me shooting my shot. And again, I was that person. I was going hard for women. Like, ain't nothing wrong. Shoot your shot.
Mm-hmm.
I do not recommend it. 0 out of 10.
Okay.
No
Okay.
star.
Okay, listen. This is what we're here for. We came here tonight to get some dating tips, to hear some war stories, but then also to hear that there is and can be a light at the end of the tunnel. So I appreciate you stopping by and giving us some advice, right? And before you go, like, give some parting words to someone who's on the fence, whether they should or they should not start dating.
So I think my parting words would be this: just do it.
Mm,
Just do it. And again, I can't say this enough. Do not put all your eggs in one basket.
mhm,
And be honest.
mhm, mhm.
That is not taking anything away from you, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I feel like most people appreciate when people are honest about certain
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And as a woman, me telling a man, I'm just trying to figure out what I want, what's out here
Mhm,
for me. If
mhm.
they can't understand that, bye.
And there's no rush to it, right? Like, what's the
No,
rush?
there is
What's
no.
the rush?
So
Take your
we met each
time.
other at the end of like September, and we didn't become exclusive until January.
Nice,
So it's
nice.
just been a little bit over a month. And like I said, so far so good. I'm here to see what God has for me.
That's right. That's
And
right.
that, you know, it's my relationship. I don't put it on social media, but I also don't recommend most people do that.
Yeah,
You want to mess with
yeah,
a relationship, put it on social media.
yeah. Absolutely. That's a surefire way, right?
Because when
Absolutely.
people get messy, like, oh, I
Yeah.
actually, before back in the day, I put a relationship on there. I had a man text me and say, I think I want you now.
Oh. Oh.
But you'll never see me put my relationship on social media. Never.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I love it. Chrissy, thank you so much for stopping by. Listen, you guys, we've got her TikTok. You can connect with her, make it personal fitness. She's on TikTok. She's sharing tips and showing you the lifestyle that it takes to get to this space that you are healthier, that you're loving life. And hey, it can open
And
you
if
up
you're
to
not on
possibilities.
TikTok and you're on Instagram, my Instagram is the same thing. Make it personal fitness.
There you go. So Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. So Chrissy, hang out for just a second. Let me give the people their marching orders. That was so good. Now look, we are not saying that you have to try online dating. But wasn't it good just to get some insider tips, some scoops of what's going on in them Facebook dating streets, just in case you want to proceed? But if you do, make certain you proceed with caution, use discernment, trust the Holy Spirit, and get out there and explore. And as Chrissy told us, date them all. I think that's the best advice. Date them all. So until next week, you all have a beautiful and blessed evening. And I'll see you again on the next episode of the Black Girl Encourage Her, Love Her edition. Take care.